only really my surroundings. Can't stop, won't stop, till I tour the world when the glow trap. Better keep it dope like the stove top. Type of thing I hide in a tube sock. I done skip town on a new block, but I'm still around if you just not. Better hold it down when the group drop, where I kick down for the crowd, I balloon pop.
What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, JackedAfter40.com. Today's video is all about building some bigger arms. Now, some will argue that your biceps get enough work when you're doing back exercises and your triceps will get enough work when you're doing chest exercises and some shoulder exercises. But if you're relying on back, chest, and some shoulder exercises to build your arms, you are definitely shortchanging yourself and leaving some serious arm gains on the table. If you want to build bigger arms and maximize your arm gains, your biceps and triceps need direct work. And in today's video, I'm going to share how you should be structuring your workout, giving you some different options. I'm also going to share the arm workout that I'm doing right now using dumbbells, barbells, and resistance bands here at home. If you enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. To make sure that a single muscle fiber of your biceps or triceps goes untouched, there's three factors we're going to look at when training your arms. First is the angle of your shoulder, so shoulder flexion and extension, the angle of your wrist, pronated all the way up to supinated, as well as the width that you are gripping the bar. We're also going to be looking at the overall shape and details of your arms. So your bicep has two heads, a short head and a long head. So let's see, I'll flex my muscles here, and you got the split down the middle there. So that's going to separate your long head and your short head. Your tricep has three heads. You've got a lateral, medial, and long head. So if you flex the triceps here, the lateral is on the outside. The medial, it's here. It's the under surface there. Then you got the long head back here. You're also, for the best shape and details of your arm, you've got the brachialis muscle that lays just underneath the bicep. So when I'm flexing my arms, really from the side here, you see the muscle, it's popping out the side there. This hunk of muscle right there. Right there, that's the brachialis muscle that lies underneath the bicep. That really gives some great shape, the great dimension to your arm. So you really got to make sure that you're working both heads of the biceps, all three heads of the triceps, and you're getting that brachialis involved as well. Really carving out the details of your arms as well as developing the overall shape, kind of maximizing the shape of your arms. So let's start off with the angles of your shoulders. We'll focus on the biceps here. So shoulder flexion, you're looking at a movement like the preacher curl, and with that movement, most of the activation of your biceps is going to happen in the lower third, kind of lower half of the movement. Once you start coming up a little bit higher, there's less activation of the biceps in there. Some people argue that they feel a little bit more tension, kind of the lower aspects of the biceps there. And one of the misconceptions with muscle fibers is that the muscle fibers run the entire length of the muscle from origin to insertion, and that's not the case. They're all segmented along there. So different angles of the shoulder flexion, angles of the wrist, all that, they're going to affect different aspects of your arms a little bit more. You're not going to you can't just isolate the lower aspect of your biceps or isolate the upper aspect, but certain movements are going to target certain muscle fibers a little bit more than others, which is why it's really, really important to get a lot of variety with the angles and widths and everything you're training with your arms. So you got the flexion is the preacher curl, just a standing or seating upright bicep curl. And then you also have lying down on a bench an incline dumbbell bicep curl. So now we're looking at the triceps. Same idea, like a tricep press down. Your elbows are at your side, so a neutral shoulder position. When you're doing either a dumbbell overhead press, or you got a low pulley cable, or even leaning forward with a high pulley cable, you've got your triceps, your elbows up above your head. More of the long head of the tricep is going to get activated there. Reason for that is that's out of all three heads of the triceps, that long head crosses your shoulder joint. So changing that angle of your arm is going to have an impact on which head of the tricep is getting a little bit more activation. You're not going to completely eliminate any head. All three heads are going to be working with all these movements, but once again, it's just kind of making sure that you are activating all of the muscle fibers possible. So like I said, neutral grip here with your tricep press down. You got an overhead tricep position where you're going to get a little bit more long head activation, or just a regular skull crusher where your arms are at a 90-degree angle here. So there's all different angles along the way that you can do with that shoulder flexion and extension there. Now let's take a look at the impact that the angle of your wrist have on building bigger arms. We're going to start with your biceps. We'll start with supination, which is palms facing up. And that is one of the purposes of your bicep muscle, is to supinate your wrist. So you can see, supinate that wrist, your bicep flexes more. And that's, I find a lot of people really, they leave some gains on the table. They are not maximizing the contraction of their bicep exercises. If you're coming up in a curl and your wrists are supinated but not fully supinated, you can maximize that contraction by simply supinating that wrist just a little bit more. So coming up to the top and supinating in is going to intensify the contraction of that bicep curl. So supination is fantastic. If you're doing any kind of supination movement, just squeeze, do that extra little squeeze at the top part, and that is going to make a big impact on just getting the most out of that curl. So that's supinated. Now neutral position, that is like what would be a hammer curl. And that's going to, again, you're still working both heads of the biceps there, but that's when you're going to get that brachialis muscle is getting more involved when you're using that hammer style grip. You can do a pronated grip, so reverse bicep curl. Again, you're still getting both heads of the biceps involved there, some brachialis, but you're also getting the brachioradialis, that kind of forearm muscle that comes outside here, kind of crosses that shoulder joint there. So that's going to help change the overall, improve the overall appearance of not just your upper arm, but your lower arm as well. So you want to make sure that you are getting all of those angles for your biceps in order to kind of maximize, making sure that you are hitting every muscle fiber possible and making sure that you're getting both heads of the biceps activated as well as the brachialis. Now, wrist angles for the triceps, again, tricep press down and overhand pronated grip. That's traditional, what you're going to see people do most of the time. The rope neutral position, that may have a little bit more impact on the lateral head of the tricep squeezing down. You can often see it popping out a little bit more. With the rope press down, you can also do a reverse press down where you're using a supinated grip. And you can either do it with a straight bar. I love doing that movement with a single handle at a time to kind of finish off my triceps there at the end. Once again, I mean, all of those exercises, all of those grips are going to work all of those heads of the triceps. But again, certain the grips are going to impact certain muscle fibers a little bit more than others, certain heads a little bit more than others. So you want to make sure that you are incorporating all of those wrist angles as well as all of the shoulder angles into your overall training plan to make sure that you are not leaving anything on the table. And last, looking at the grip width. When it comes to the barbell curl, having a wider grip, so shoulder width, maybe a little bit more than shoulder width apart, may create a little more emphasis on the short head of the bicep, the inner aspect. Whereas if you go a little bit more narrow, it tends to work both biceps a little bit evenly, maybe a tiny bit more of the long head of the bicep. When it comes to the triceps, really grip width isn't going to have much of an impact at all on which head is going to be affected more than another. And one bonus factor to consider when you're looking at the overall shape, detail, aesthetic appearance of your arms, making them look as big as they possibly are, you want to be lean. The leaner you are, the more the details are going to pop out, the more you're going to see the depth of your arms. It's going to make you look bigger, even though you may not stretch your sleeves as much as if you're carrying around extra weight. The details, they're just more eye-catching and gives the appearance that your arms are bigger. Now let's look at program design and how to structure your arm workouts. And like every other muscle group, you're going to want to periodize your training volume. So you're going to want to have some low volume training phases, some moderate, and some high volume training phases. I'd recommend no less than 6 sets of direct work for your biceps and for your triceps per week. 9 sets seems to be a pretty decent place to make some pretty good arm gains. I find the best results is working yourself up to 14 to 20 sets per week in order to maximize your muscle gains. Again, you're not going to want to stay up there at 14 to 20 sets per week. You want to periodize that volume, bring it up, and then ramp it back down to allow your body to resensitize to the muscle growth, to allow that fatigue to dissipate and to allow your biceps to fully recover. So ramp it up, adapt, and then pull it back. Now let's take a look at how to incorporate arm training into your training split. If you're someone who follows full body workouts 3 times per week, it's not bad to work your arms. It's pretty easy to get arm workout when you're in that lower end, like kind of 6 to 9 sets per week. You can do 3 sets for biceps, 3 sets for triceps. That's going to give you your 9 sets per week. When you start getting up to 14, up to 20 sets per week, if you're doing full body training, it's going to be very tough trying to hit that kind of volume in a single workout without your workouts lasting 2-3 hours long, which not many of us have time for that. So I love what my buddy Craig does over at Grey Wolf Fitness. He loves the 3 days full body workouts, and those 3 days he'll mainly hit chest, back, and legs. And then twice a week, he'll save that for biceps, triceps, calves, I think even abs on those days as well. So it's a great way for him to save time and still get that arm volume in there, and kind of giving his best focus energy to it as well. It's one thing if you tack on arms at the end, you're exhausted, you may give a half-ass effort, but if you have those dedicated days to arms and some other accessories like calves and abs, it works out very well. An upper-lower split, what I have found works great. If it's again, that lower 6 sets to 9 sets per week, I'll include the arms with the upper body work. But once I start getting up to like 14, 20 sets per week for arms, I'll put arms with legs. Again, it's a time saver for me. I may even just do like triceps with legs and biceps with the upper body work. Just trying to manage the time a little bit better with the workouts. And the biceps, the arms can handle frequent training sessions throughout the week. So if I'm hitting arms on leg day and then kind of hitting them again with the upper body workout, even though you're working the biceps with the back exercises, triceps with the chest exercises, the arms can recover really well from that kind of training. So if anything, it may even actually help with your recovery from the direct arm workout that they get with the leg training session. Of course, push-pull legs, obvious push workout, you're going to work your triceps. Pull workout, you're going to work your biceps. There's other splits. You got chest, and a lot of times people will pair triceps with chest. Your triceps would be kind of pre-exhausted by the time you get to them, so it's a great way to kind of they're already kind of warmed up and ready to go when you hit the triceps there. But if you do chest and biceps, back and triceps, what happens there is that you're getting that extra stimulation, so you're hitting your triceps more frequently throughout the week, and your triceps are also fresh after your back training. So you may find that you are stronger. You can work your triceps better when you pair them with your back workouts. I personally love direct arm training days. It's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to share my workout with you. When structuring my arm workouts, I make sure they include exercises that work at least 2 different angles at the shoulder joint and 2 different angles with the wrist. This month, with my home workouts using dumbbells, barbells, and resistance bands, I'm beginning my workout with a hammer to supinated alternating arm curl for the biceps. So I'm getting both that action of the supination of the wrist, so maximizing the contraction at the top, as well as kind of the hammer curl action. They're making sure that the brachialis is getting involved in here as well. I usually like to start with higher rep exercises to kick things off, 12 to 15 repetitions. Just great to warm up the joints, great to enhance that overall mind-muscle connection. And it's just, I find that especially the alternating arms just feels better for me with the biceps here. With the tricep press down here, with the resistance band is actually pretty darn impressive. A little less resistance towards the top, but the contraction at the bottom is outstanding. The burn, the pump is absolutely awesome. So this would kind of mimic the rope tricep press down, the neutral grip where your palms are facing each other. I find it a little bit more difficult to have the palms facing down, that pronated grip using a resistance band. So I'm starting off here doing a superset. So a couple of supersets. I really enjoy going back and forth between triceps and biceps. A nice superset fashion here. I just find the pump is outrageous. The arm pump is absolutely sick. I just find that it's a time saver as well. And I just find it's great. I find it easy on my joints when I'm doing something like this. The next superset is an incline dumbbell bicep curl. So changing the angle of my arms for the biceps here, going backwards, whereas is more of the angle of the shoulder joint was neutral in the first exercise. So I'm going with a neutral shoulder grip, and now incline back for the biceps there. So incline dumbbell bicep curl, great stretch in the bottom and make sure that my shoulders stay back, kind of taking the anterior delt out of this movement. I've got my palms facing up the entire time here. Again, you could go with a supinated grip with this and change things up as well. And I am pairing that with an overhead tricep extension using the dumbbells. You could use a resistance band for this as well if you attach it down low behind you or leaning forward as well. And you can use a barbell if you have one as well, but go with the dumbbells here. So again, changing the angle. So the first exercise, the angle was neutral with the shoulder joint, and here it's my arms, elbows are up above my head, so getting a little more emphasis on the long head of the tricep with this exercise here. So the dumbbells, I haven't done this one in a little while. I do prefer the low pulley or a high pulley cable exercise for this movement. But the dumbbells actually didn't feel too bad with this exercise. So again, that was a superset, and I was aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions for both of those exercises. Now we're moving on to the barbell bicep curl. Going to do 3 sets here, 8 to 12 repetitions, and on the third set, I'm going to perform an extended rest pause set. So after hitting that 8 to 12 repetitions, on the third set, I'm going to rest for about 10 seconds, do as many more reps as possible, rest for 10 seconds, do as many more reps as possible, rest for 10 seconds, do as many more reps as possible. Just keep going until I can't do a single rep again. I didn't record that extended set here, just know that I did it on the third set. And that's what I really enjoy doing with the final exercise in an arm workout, is some form of extending the set, really taking it safely beyond failure. Whether it's an extended rest pause set, a drop set, something like that would be absolutely fantastic. And that's exactly what I did here with the skull crusher and getting some good kisses by Chief mid-set here. Absolutely love working at home, whether it's outside, in the house, getting tons of kisses, and just playing with Chief has been an absolute blast during my workouts. I'm really gonna miss that aspect of my training once the gym opens up here. So skull crusher here, once again, going for the 8 to 12 repetitions. I think this is my first set. I may have hit a little higher repetition, so I bumped up the weight, and once again on that third set it was an extended rest pause set. So with the triceps, actually kind of getting all the different angles of the shoulder joint. So with the tricep press down, with the resistance band, my arms were in a neutral position, my shoulder was in a neutral position with my arms at my side. Then we had the dumbbell overhead, so getting a little more the long head of the tricep involved there with the elbows up and the shoulder in full flexion. And then here with the skull crusher, where the shoulder joint, arms are at a 90-degree angle there. So getting all different angles and different angles of the wrists, so the palms were facing each other with the band. It was kind of with the dumbbell above the head, the wrists were in varying different positions there, and then the skull crusher here, you've got the hands in a pronated position there. So covering all the different angles of the shoulders with the triceps, a couple different angles with the biceps, and various different angles of the wrist for both the bicep and tricep exercises here. And now for a little bonus tip. If you've got one arm bigger than the other, I think most of us do. It's one of those common questions that I get from a lot of my fellow bros, a lot of men over 40 there who have developed one arm bigger than the other. And a lot of times it's like up to ½ an inch. And for myself, my left arm, even though I'm right-handed, my left arm is ½ an inch bigger than my right arm. So what I've been doing at the end of each arm workout is doing one exercise for that right arm, working one bicep exercise, one tricep exercise for my right arm. So I'm doing a hammer curl. So again, that gonna get some extra brachialis work on this right arm. So doing a single dumbbell hammer curl, crossbody kind of hammer curl for the bicep there. For the tricep, I've been doing a single arm reverse tricep press down. Sometimes a tricep kickback as well, but I find that single arm press down to be a lot more effective. I would prefer a cable, but the resistance band is working out pretty darn good here. And that's how you build bigger arms. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your feedback, share your insights. I can't wait to hear from you. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Hope you have yourself an absolutely amazing day. Catch you in the next video.